Deliberations are set to begin Monday in the trial of Mexican drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. The trial is nearing its end after the defense gave its closing arguments yesterday. Today, there is no court. El Chapo is facing drug and murder conspiracy charges and could spend the rest of his life in prison if convicted. So for more on this, I want to bring in criminal defense lawyer and former prosecutor Vinoo Varghese. All right, Vinoo. So we've been listening to the closing statements. Among the many things that the defense said was they sort of implored the jury to not give in to the myth of El Chapo. Why did they want that message sent to the jury?
Well, El Chapo is famous, right? Everybody knows the name. Everybody's heard of it for years. Yeah. I mean, before that, there'd been a long time since anyone was that famous in the drug trafficking world. I mean, he's synonymous with drug trafficking.
Right.
What the defense said yesterday was every single witness, and they did something very creative, which I appreciate this, and I appreciate using PowerPoints, and they had slides. I do that during summations, and so, when you're giving a summation, you're summing up, right? But you're summing up for hours, and you're trying to put this in perspective so they get it. And one of the things you can do during a summation is use a demonstrative. So what do? They put up a get-out-of-jail card from Monopoly.
You're kidding me.
Right, which was great, because what they're saying is, look at all these witnesses. They all lie, they all kill, they all sell drugs for a living, and this is who the government has brought in as their star witnesses. To me, it's powerful, right? I mean, you're in a situation where you've heard all this evidence, but the evidence has been primarily through extremely bad people, including serial murderers like El Chapo,
who are facing time behind bars.
Yes,
so they need a break, maybe a get-out-of-jail card. Right.
Absolutely, and a lot of these people, even the son of the guy who's supposed to be the big drug lord, said that he's hoping to get a visa, right? So the main guy, El Mayo, is still at large, and he said that El Chapo is a fall guy for this, right? He hasn't been involved, and the testimony, like, he made fun of one of the pictures or one of the videos where he supposedly, yelling at somebody, and they said the guy was identified as El Chapo, and he put a sort of a mask and a hat and a mustache over the picture, saying, "Look, is that really El Chapo? You can see him here in court." So there was a lot of good stuff put forth by the defense summation. But I want to bring up one of the big issues in federal criminal practice, right? Remember, the government has the burden of proof here. So the government has to prove this case beyond a reasonable doubt. But it's El Chapo's the one on trial. So all the rights of the Constitution are really to protect the criminal defendant, the person charged, because our founders decided, or they were wise enough to understand, when the state, or the federal government in this case, has such power, you have to have certain protections for the defendant. In a federal criminal case, the government gets to open at the beginning, right? And then the defense goes before evidence is presented. At the end of the case, the government gets to sum up, defense goes, and they get to give a government gets to go again. So today there's no jury today, but yesterday, after the defense finished, the government got up to go again and attack the statement. So the last voice the jurors are hearing before they deliberate for the weekend, now there's 3 days off, and come back on Monday, get jury instructions, is the government's voice.
Interesting.
Right? So think about that, right? Because while the defense is going, they can sit there, take notes, and then just cherry pick what they want to say and reiterate their points. This is an absolute, I think it's one of the biggest shams in criminal practice, because when you're on trial, why should the government get to go twice at the end?
Right. Now,
some people say, summations aren't that important, because it is. Because you have a chance in summation to basically tie things together that weren't so clear maybe during trial.
Yeah.
And, he did a very good job, but of course the government gets the last word, and they're going to hear jury instructions.
Very interesting. After weeks and weeks of testimony, the last thing you hear is probably the first thing you remember.
Of course.
We will see how it unfolds. Vinoo Varghese, thank you.
Thank you.